In case you didn't know this, Saturday's Earth Day, which is very important, of course. And with us right now from Ecology Ottawa, he is the Managing Director, Robb Barnes. How are you, Rob?
Great. How are you?
Wonderful to have you here. We've got a couple of big events happening for Earth Day. How long has Earth Day been around at this point? I remember when I was a kid in elementary school, we started talking about it. I mean, it's obviously been top of mind, taking care of the Earth, but it hasn't been around for a long time.
Yeah, I don't have a precise date. I'd say 60s or 70s. I'm not sure, not clear on the year.
Yeah.
So there's Earth Day, there's Earth Hour, but Earth Day is the really big one, April 22nd.
It's a really big one, obviously important because, I mean, we're trying to save the Earth. We're trying to talk about the important things we should be doing to conserve the Earth, I guess, right? Now, you tell us about Ecology Ottawa. How long has this organization been around for?
So Ecology Ottawa has been around for 10 years, and it's our mission to make Ottawa the green capital of Canada. And by that we mean we want to connect the residents of Ottawa to their local environmental issues and hear from them as to what's important. We work in a variety of areas, but we touch on climate change, energy, cycling, pedestrian infrastructure, and also the living city. So that's trees, green space, and water in our capital.
So important stuff. Now, you've got a couple of events taking place this Saturday. So which one do we want to touch on first?
Well, why don't we start with the Park Summit?
Sure.
So this is the inaugural Ottawa Park Summit taking place at 1 p.m. On Saturday, April 22nd, and from 1 to 5. And basically what it is a meeting of minds. You've got communities, you've got businesses that neighbor parks, you've got people all over the city who deal with their local parks. And you've also got people at the city staff, and maybe councillors and politicians who are thinking of parks through a policy lens. And it's a real opportunity to bring them all together in one room at one time and have a discussion as to how we can make our parks more vibrant and how we can get engaged with our parks on every number of levels. I mean, there's the environmental question, the preservation of green space and interaction with green space, but there's also parks as social mechanisms and also economic development opportunities for neighborhoods. So kind of a multi-dimensional look at the role of parks in our city.
Okay. Do we ever get concerned about parks disappearing? With of course, cities getting a little more rural and or urban rather, with buildings, and is that an issue? Yeah,
I mean, there's always a question. There's always that push and pull, right? With any urban development, there's a question of what happens with green space, and some cities do some really innovative things. Like Toronto recently decided to make a park out of an old rail line, and so there are interesting case studies around the world. Cities that are in many cases much larger or more developed than Ottawa, thinking about how to use that green space really strategically. In Ottawa, we're blessed. We've got the green belt. We're not too far from Gatineau Park. But there's always an ongoing question as to the degree to which we can preserve green space in our urban areas and allow people to access that green space and make use of it. So I think that will be part of the discussion on Saturday.
I think that definitely is huge too. I mean, you get more kids out, more sports perhaps, family activities, getting people who enjoy the outdoors a little more, which is very important. The Earth Day celebrations here in Ottawa, what can we look forward to?
Yeah, so right after, in the same building, the same location, right after the Park Summit ends, Ecology Ottawa staff and volunteers will have about half an hour to turn this into a location for a really big party. The Earth Day celebration is really a celebration of the environmental community, and it'll be a great chance for people to come, mingle, and have a great time. I mean, we've got a comedian, Martha Chavez, coming in from Toronto. We've got DJ Goldilocks, who's also the executive director of a local nonprofit, and we're just going to enjoy the food and drinks and door prizes provided by local businesses. So it'll just be a really good time. And normally we have Ecology Ottawa. We have this annual celebration in the fall, but we thought, Earth Day is also a great occasion to have a party. And so whereas the occasion in fall is kind of a more formal dinner, this is kind of a chance for people to let their hair down and enjoy themselves. What's the occasion in the fall all about? What would that be? So that's our annual dinner. It's a gala usually. We often have speakers. We had, for example, the former mayor of Toronto and World Wildlife president show up at one of our galas. So it's more of a formal occasion, though. It's kind of a sit down with these at a nice banquet hall kind of thing with a multi-course dinner in the past provided by the Green Door restaurant. But it's the Earth Day celebration will be the first of its kind for Ecology Ottawa. Okay, so this is the first year that you're throwing these celebrations on Saturday. That's exciting. You know, in the past we've looked around and we've said, we've been hesitant to plan something on Earth Day because our thinking was someone's going to do something somewhere. And we finally decided to kind of take the plunge and try to make it a big splashy event, really 2 events.
Yeah.
And that is to say, there are other events happening throughout the city on Earth Day. So there's so many great community associations thinking through plans for their local communities and trying to engage people. So there's plenty to do, but we hope people will take the time to come to our 2 events.
And I'm sure, so it's been about a month back since Earth Hour. I forget the exact date on that. But
yeah, it usually lands around March 20th or 19th, I think.
So obviously that's something that Ecology Ottawa is on board with as well.
Yeah. We didn't have a formal participation this year. Our office was closed when Earth Hour was on, but it's essentially World Wildlife Fund promoted the idea in the first place, and the idea is that for an hour the entire world basically shuts off the light to think through the implications of our energy usage.
Okay.
But Earth Day is maybe a bit different. There's less of a it's not focused around one action. It's focused on celebration and thinking through our interaction with the Earth and our planet.
So you're looking for people to basically sign up or register for these events?
Yes. So ecologyottawa.ca is our website, and there, if folks go there, they can register for the Park Summit, which is totally free. Or they can register for the Earth Day celebration, and there we ask people to buy a ticket for about $25.
Okay.
And join us that evening.
Okay. Makerspace North is the location?
Makerspace North, which is at Bay 216 at the City Centre building.
Yeah, 250 City Centre Avenue.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 2 amazing activities happening in one day. You guys are going to be busy.
Very busy.
You're going to be tired. You get your sleep the night before.
That's right.
EcologyOttawa.ca for more information on the Ottawa Park Summit and the Earth Day celebration happening it's hard to believe it's Earth Day already.
Hard to believe.
Happy
Time
Earth
flies.
Day in advance. Mr. Robb Barnes, Managing Director, Ecology Ottawa.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. We've got more daytime, of course, the repeats at 6 and 11, and we'll catch you back here tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Cable 22.